So late in the fall, I get an awful lot of catalogs in the mail. And I'm sure you get all the same catalogs that I do. Many are overflowing with things that you need to have, you gotta buy this, isn't this so cool? Or pictures of bodies of people that I never looked like and never will possibly look like. Many of these materials berate a constant lack of what we have. It tells us we need this, we want this, you gotta buy this, you gotta spend money on this. We live in a society that keeps telling us scarcity each day. Our lives will be fulfilled if and only if we buy this product from this company or that thing from that place or whatever. And it's not just those catalogs. How many of you guys watch the HBO sitcom White Lotus? Any White Lotus fans in there? So they promote shopping therapy. Going shopping to improve your mood, to help you cope with stress or relieve negative emotions by having this purchasing pleasure. Yet the characters on the show seem all to be filled with this malaise of life of some sort, in spite of them having the money to buy absolutely everything they could possibly ever want to imagine having. It's like we all live in a land of not enough. Reverend Cecilia Kingman Miller came up with that phrase. She asks, how can we possibly practice generosity and a belief in abundance amidst a barrage of scarcity? A barrage of scarcity. So, you know, there's this saying, it's quite famous. There's three things that we're not supposed to talk about: politics, religion, and money, right? So religion, come on, we talk about religion every single Sunday and probably every single day of the week in between those Sundays. What's the essence of our religion? What's the essence of our Unitarian Universalism? So I'd like to invite you to turn to page 683, to reading 683 in your hymnals. The abolitionist Unitarian minister, the Reverend Theodore Parker, offers this inspirational definition of our religious tradition. 683, would you read it with me? Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere, its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love, its profession of faith, divine living. So we talk about religion. We also talk about politics here. Social justice, our social justice team encourages fellow CUUBies in addressing the political issues of the day. We are a welcoming congregation. That is a political stance. We are a green sanctuary congregation. That is also a political stance. And both of those stances are under attack in our country today. And for the past couple of weeks, for the past several weeks, I have had a good handful, maybe even more, of conversations with congregants who are deeply concerned about what's going on in our country today. And that's one of the reasons that Pastoral Care is holding the Healing Circle next Saturday morning. So the third one, money. So, you know, there's that old church dictum, don't talk about money with people, it makes them uncomfortable. So today is Money Sunday. We're going to talk about money anyways. There you have it. The stewardship team came up with the title for my sermon today, The Sermon on the Amount. And do you know how many times people corrected that title as it was published in CUUB News or on the website or wherever else, and had to be corrected back? No, it's a joke. It's supposed to be the Sermon on the Amount. So membership in CUUB means that we abide by our covenant of right relationships with each other. And our newest members pledge themselves to abide by that covenant today. And part of that covenant we pledge, we say, that we're going to create beloved community here in our midst among ourselves today, but that we're going to take that beloved community that we create here and bring it to the wider world around us to create a world that is more filled with loving kindness for everyone in it. That's the essence of our CUUB covenant. And that's one of the reasons why I'm wearing the Children of the World stole, with children from all around the world, with all sorts of different ethnic costumes and different looks from all around the world. We are one human family on this planet Earth, and we are all called to love and to serve each other. So membership in CUUB, besides the commitment to our covenant, also has another threefold commitment. One, we share our time by participating in CUUB services and activities like you are doing today, or like you go to that game with a paddle that Beth was talking about. It's called pickleball, by the way. Two, we share our talents by serving our CUUB community. And there's many different ways to serve. Some people take an active role on the board. Others are on board committees or on our CUUB teams. The CUUB teams include finance, which has organized the stewardship drive. The board committees are finance, human resources, and the ministry team. And then we have the CUUB teams. Those include worship, which plans worship every single Sunday for here. And it takes a group of like 5 to 10 people to put worship together for every single Sunday. It's not just me and the worship associate and one tech person back there. It's a bunch of people organizing Sunday services. We also have the spiritual exploration team, a team of people to guide our youth in their Sunday morning activities after the story for all ages. We have the pastoral care team, the membership team, who organizes and invites new members and organizes events for our congregation to share in the life of the community, like the plant-based potluck that we're having today. Did I miss anyone? Oh, and the facilities team that makes sure our buildings and grounds and everything is working smoothly. We also have a bunch of small groups, and those small groups run themselves. And right now, we have a particular need. Since we're talking about stewardship, we have a particular need for volunteers for our spiritual exploration team. Not the teachers and the helpers, but people to help put together the curriculum and help our guides for the youth along. The nominating team is also looking for volunteers at this time for nominations to the board and its committees for this coming year. So those were two of the commitments. We commit to participate in CUUB activities. We commit to serve in CUUB leadership. And our third commitment, can you guess what the third commitment is? Has something to do with money. We commit to share our treasures with CUUB by financially supporting our congregation in whatever way we are able to do so. So those holiday catalogs and those shopping therapies that I mentioned, they create a mindset of scarcity. And they ignore the abundance that we already do have in our lives. And stewardship is about the exploration of abundance and sharing the gifts that we have. We live in a world of abundance. Our Mother Earth quenches us with water, nourishes us with food, and provides us with all the other resources that we need to live. Not just us, but all species on our planet home. But that abundance is diminished by an inequitable distribution of the Earth's resources. Not all people get to share in that abundance. That abundance is also diminished by an intentional dilution of scarcity that's created. So it's like the dragons of European fairy tales. You know how dragons look in their tails and, they hide in caves. And what is it? Why are they hiding in their caves? What do they keep in their caves? Treasures. They're hoarding treasures. They're hoarding gold and jewels and precious metal and silver and stuff like that. And stuff like the junk in the back of my garage as well, probably. And they're obsessive about their hoarding. They have stuff that they don't need that they could possibly never need, but they cannot bring themselves to share those treasures. Some of these dragons are like Fafnir in the Beowulf saga, or maybe the more modern Smaug in J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. Like toddlers, they refuse to share, and they just keep wanting more and more and more. That's a mentality of scarcity. How many times have we been told recently in our country that's supposed to be the richest country in the world, that we do not have money to pay for basic human needs for fellow Americans, like food or housing or health care or veterans services? That's an intentional delusion of scarcity that's being created. And here at CUUB, we have enough because of your generosity, because of your weekly contributions. Your donations pay all of our bills. We do not lack for anything here at CUUB. We have everything that we need. And for the past few years, we have had a balanced budget. Last year, we redid the parking lot, and that required a lot of money. That was an extraordinary expense, but it was an absolutely necessary expense. So we borrowed money from our reserves. We held a capital campaign to pay for the parking lot. We held a series of fundraisers to pay for that parking lot. We weren't able to pay for all of it, but we did have the reserves to finish off what we needed for the parking lot. We have enough. Here's another example. Our SC coordinator asked the board for additional funding for a series of programs that she was planning, like the movie night that we had last fall. The board allocated the money for all of those activities. We have enough. But we sometimes have a notion of scarcity even here at CUUB. I have been told by people that they're donating supplies to CUUB because CUUB doesn't have the money to pay for those supplies. I've heard people say that we don't have enough money to pay for toner cartridges. I've heard that said. Or that we don't have enough money to pay our guest speakers. Or that we don't have enough money for coffee supplies. I don't know where these rumors are coming from. They reflect the mentality of scarcity, but they don't reflect the reality of our healthy financial situation that we have. So if you have questions about the health of CUUB finances, talk to the treasurer. There's going to be a series of opportunities for you to have these conversations. But if a question comes up during the year, talk to the treasurer. Or if that doesn't answer your question, come to the monthly board meeting and talk to the board members and ask them about the state of our finances. CUUB really is doing financially well. And CUUB is financially healthier than some of the congregations that I have served in the past. And here's a couple of examples. I once served a church that could not pay payroll regularly. Another one, a broken water heater once shut down an entire church building for an entire month because of the cost of replacing a single water heater, because they had not maintained the building in years and years and years, and decades and decades and decades. Another one, faulty ancient plumbing from the 1930s flooded the ceiling and sanctuary in another church, which required massive amounts of expensive repairs. And one church didn't have the money to pay its insurance or its mortgage payments or its utility payments, and eventually got shut down because it ran out of money. That's not CUUB. That's not who we are here at CUUB. But we still need your ongoing generous contributions to keep CUUB going to maintain this building, to maintain our grounds, to pay for all of our office expenses. We also need your generous donations to pay for my payroll, my salary, for Hannah, our pianist, for Jeannie, our bookkeeper, for the spiritual education coordinator, and for our guest speakers. Yes, spiritual education is still actively seeking a new SE coordinator, but we are dealing with a paucity of qualified applicants at this point. And worship is delighted that we found Hannah to be our pianist last year. So here's my ask, and you know what this ask is. You know what I'm going to be asking you for. Please continue to donate generously as you have been donating. And for this year, maybe you could donate a little bit more, maybe match that rate of inflation that we are all experiencing, because CUUB is also experiencing that inflation. And CUUB has a couple of dream projects that we would like to envision. One of those is we need to redo the kitchen, and there's some equipment in there that desperately needs to be updated before it starts flooding the building. If we get enough, well, at least it would flood the kitchen floor, not much more. But we need extra money in order to do that. The board is also in discussions about hiring a communications coordinator who would do stuff like edit our order of service and newsletter and webpage and social media and stuff like that. But that also requires extra money. So those are some of the dream visions for our congregation if we are able to receive the extra money to pay for them. I too pledge to CUUB. I send in the monthly contribution. I think it's monthly. Unitarian Universalist ministers are expected to be members of their congregation and also to pledge to the congregations that they serve. So I intentionally donate 10% of my ministerial income that I receive from CUUB. Some of it goes back to CUUB as donations, but because I cannot be a member here at CUUB, I pledge to the Unitarian Universalist congregation where I am a member. The folks here at CUUB, we here at CUUB, are a community of builders. That term comes from Deepa Iyer's Social Change Now, a guide for reflection and connection. It talks about how various roles are constructed in a congregation and how those roles interact with each other to keep things going. And at the first session of that program that we had earlier this month, we realized half the people in the group were somehow involved as being builders of this congregation. Builders develop and organize and implement ideas. They implement practices, they find people for volunteers, they usher resources in a service of a collective vision for what this congregation is about. So what's that vision of who we are as CUUB? What are we about? What is our vision? We talked about our CUUB covenant earlier today. We read the words of Reverend Parker. Beloveds, the most radical, the most political, the most controversial, countercultural message that we have today is our vision. It is our affirmation that each and every single one of us, each and every single one of you has the right to flourish with inherent worth and dignity. Turn to your left, turn to your right, look at the people next to you in their eyes. We are here for us. And not just those people whose butts are in the seats this morning, but for all those people who are out there someplace in Brighton, in Livingston County. They too have the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worth. And that affirmation is grounded in love. That's how we work together to create beloved community here, where we practice being good and loving and kind people and stepping at each other's toes and getting angry with each other and making up and reconciling so that we can learn how to do that better in the larger world around us, a larger world that is so desperately in need of love and compassion and empathy and loving kindness. Our vision is that we are creating the beloved community for all the world's people in our entire planet home. Amen.